So you've heard the saying, you are what you eat, but how about you are what you think? Today we're talking about the power of positive thinking. So the power of positive thinking, it may sound airy-fairy or you've heard of it out there and you've got all of this bias towards positive thinking. That's that negative in your head screaming at you. As soon as you hear, oh, that person's super positive, that little negative mind, that devil on the shoulder kicks in and it starts getting you on that negativity train. So how can we condition ourselves to be more positive? I guarantee you it's going to serve you. It's going to serve you better than a negative mindset. So think about positive thinking as something that's going to enhance your daily life, not something that is airy-fairy or out there, or it's those people are doing that positive stuff. You can do it and it's going to help. Our minds are hardwired to be negative. Since the dawn of time, when we were cavemen, or we were off exploring and settling new lands, we were constantly looking for threats. They were real. They would do us harm. They were going to kill us. So we evolved with this negative mindset that was about protection. But that doesn't really serve us in today's day and age. We live in warm, most of us live, that are lucky enough to have a house or to have these places of safety. But for most of us, that's a regular way of life. We don't have fear knocking down our door or predators hunting us. We live in a pretty safe environment. But for some reason, we jump on that negative train and we just start going down the tracks. It's screaming down the tracks and we just keep adding to it to the point where negativity is really in our lives on a daily basis. This negativity, it really starts getting into our every single day life. We start thinking and talking like, I'm never gonna lose the weight. I'm never the guy that's on time. I'm always late. This is never gonna work out. That project, I don't think it's ever gonna get off the ground. I'm never gonna make a sale. We constantly have these thoughts in our head, and the more we reinforce them, the more we keep going down that road. So how do we break those patterns? How do we turn that negative mindset, or those people around us who are negative, who all of a sudden jump on that train with us? How do we stop that in its tracks? And how do we then turn into a more positive way of thinking that's going to allow us to do those things we want to do, to honor those commitments we want to honor? So here's 3 tips that if you put them into practice, and like anything, they take practice. It's not going to happen overnight. So you gotta work at it, right? If you want something hard, it's hard, and you gotta work. Hard work. That's why it's called hard work. So, tip number 1. The first thing you gotta do is identify that it's a negative thought. As soon as you're in there, and let's take you're having a sales call and it's starting to go down that level that, oh, I've been here before, this isn't gonna happen, I'm starting to lose it. Or you're on the golf course and you've missed 3 putts in a row from that short distance. I'm the worst putter. I always miss putts of that length. I'm never gonna make this sale. Those are the thoughts that creep into your head. So as soon as you start to recognize that you're on that negative train, you gotta stop, you gotta pull that bell, and you gotta get off the train. You got to get off it immediately, and that's identifying that you're starting to have that negative thought. So as soon as you identify it, you can then move to step 2 and get off that train. So step 2 is you got to fill your mind with a positive thought. You've got to replace that negative train that you're on, that negative mindset that your monkey mind wants to keep going and go down that path. The second thing you have to do is you've got to fill it with a positive thought. What was your last win? What was the moment you had that last big sale? What was that great kiss you got from your significant other in the morning that made you feel like $1 million? When was the last time you sank that putt? Because that reinforcing of that positive moment is going to allow the dopamine to kick in. It's going to allow your mind to stop being crazy about all the bad things that can happen. And it's a really quick reset to that next step you need to take. So step 1, get off the train. Get rid of that negative thinking, identify it, and get off it. Step 2, fill your mind with a positive thought, that small daily action that you succeeded in, that great thing that happened to you that's still fresh in your mind. Fill your mind with positive. And then the third thing is breathe. Just breathe in for 1 second. I like box breathing, Google box breathing. I'll have a link to it down below. But the act of just breathing, That's it. That's how long it takes. I do 5 seconds in, hold 5 seconds, 5 seconds out, hold 5 seconds. I can do 1 cycle of it. I can do 4 cycles of it. The fact is, I do 1 cycle of box breathing and I'm refocused. I'm relaxed. I'm out of that moment of anxiety. I'm out of that moment of negativity. I've filled my head with a positive, and I can now refocus into that task at hand. So that's it. 3 simple steps. When you start feeling a negative thought come into your head or you're around a negative person, immediately get off that train. Identify that it's negative, get off the train. Get that thing stopped right away before it starts picking up momentum. Step number 2, identify a positive. Fill your head with a positive thought, a positive moment, a positive memory, anything that allows you to get back into that sort of winning mind state. And number 3, breathe and refocus in the task at hand. You do those 3 things, you work hard at it, you practice it, and you make it part of your daily actions. You make it part of what you're recognizing day in and day out. I guarantee you're going to live a more positive life, and that negative train can be full of people who really aren't moving the same way you are. So that's all I got for you today. But the last thing is, I'm trying to build this channel, and in order to do that, I got to have subscribers and I got to have people liking it. So if you liked what I have to say, if you're enjoying what's going on, it takes 1 second. Hit subscribe, hit like, and follow what I'm doing here in the 365 Effect. Have an awesome one. We'll see you soon.